Liam O'Flaherty was born in 1896 and passed away in 1984. He was born to a large, poor family on Inishmore. Inishmore is a place in Ireland, and he was a notable figure in Irish literary movement. Like you might have heard about WBAs, so he was also part of Irish literary movement, and he took inspiration for his writings from the peasant life that was seen in his island, that is in Innismore Island. And his famous works are The Informer and The Snipper. These are the two major works of Liam O'Flaherty, along with the present text that is prescribed for you. His first flight, written by Liam O'Flaherty, is an account of a young bird that is afraid to fly for the first time. The bird believes that his wings would not support him, and despite his younger siblings flying fearlessly with much shorter wings, this bird could not gather the courage to do the same, and he was punished to stay hungry if he did not try. And thus it was his mother that compelled him to fly by using food as a trap. And this lesson reflects how one hesitates to take the first step and that fear is all in the mind. One should trust one's ability because the fear of suffering is worse than the fear suffering itself. We can say the journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. Now let's go to the lesson in detail. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. Here we know seagull. It is a bird that lives near the sea and has short legs, long wings, and white and grey feathers. And ledge means a narrow horizontal shelf projecting from a wall or projecting from a cliff. Okay. So this story is all about a young seagull who is at that stage of life where he has to learn to fly. Okay, this is the stage. This is very compulsory that he has to learn to fly. Unlike his younger brothers and sisters, he is too afraid to fly. And when all of them went for flying for the first time near the edge of the sea, all of them except him succeeded. He could not trust his wings. He got terrified by the vast sea and got convinced that he could never fly. And as a result, he was ashamed and disheartened and thus went inside the ledge where he usually slept. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away, he failed to muster up courage to take the plunge which appeared to him so desperate. His father and mother had come around calling to him shrilly, upbraiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move. Here you can see the words like muster. Muster means gather. So muster up courage means gather up courage. Then plunge means dive or jump. And shrilly means a high pitched sound that is called shrilly. So here we can see the younger siblings of this bird managed to take their first flight. Despite their wings being shorter than his, they tried. But what happened to this bird? He could not summon the courage though he tried so desperately. He was trying, but he's not getting that courage to fly. And he was scolded by his parents for not trying again, but he was so afraid that he could not even move from that area. That was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to swim the waves and how to dive for fish. He had, in fact, seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it, standing on a rock while his parents circled around raising a proud cackle. And all the morning the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. So here are many new words like herring, devour, cackle, and cowardice. The word meanings are given here. So here we can see now the bird had been alone for a day, because it is written there 24 hours ago, means one day before he had been alone. Because after he tried, his parents were busy focusing on his siblings, because they thought that this bird is not gonna to do. So they focused on his siblings. And his parents helped his siblings master the art of flying. They helped the younger birds to master the art of flying and diving for food. That is especially for the fish, because they are living nearby the sea. So obviously they will be eating food. And his older siblings even caught his first fish, which he proudly ate at a rock while his parents celebrated it. So what happened to his older sibling? He even caught his first fish, and he proudly ate the same, and his parents were celebrating it. And that morning his parents taunted him all the way for being a coward. They were just making fun of him and disrespecting him for being a coward. A coward means not a brave man, doing so many cowardish act. He was blamed, he was punished, and he was even being tortured by his parents. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. And he stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. Still they took no notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sister laying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. His father was preening the feathers off his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. Now and again she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet, and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. The sight of the food maddened him. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. Here we can see now it's the next day. The sun had arisen, and he was feeling that heat more because he was having an empty stomach, because since night he hasn't eaten anything, so he is feeling so hungry. So what he has done, he just stepped out of his sledge, and he acted like he's gonna to sleep. So he started pretending to sleep on one leg to gain the attention of his family. Actually, he's not feeling sleepy because he's feeling ultimate hunger. So he can't sleep, but he's pretending, he's acting to be sleepy just to get the attention of his family. But still no one noticed him. His siblings were sleeping, his father was cleaning his feathers with his beak, and what his mother was doing, the mother was standing on another plateau eating fish, and sometimes she used to notice him. She was only one who was noticing the young seagull. So seeing the mother tearing the fish, the seagull got mad. That is, the seagull got mad on seeing the fish because he was very hungry. And he loved to tear away fish and scrape his beak now and then. Like how his mother is doing, he just loved to do the same. He just loved to tear away the fish and scrape his beak now and then on the rock.